Well, here we are on Saturday as the national hunt season draws to a close and the flat season moves into top gear. Opposite sides of the racing scene, and some opposite weather too, as Jaysella basks in sunshine at Newbury Park, while I look out from my Barber raincoat at Ayr. The short end of the straw for me. Anyway, as Dan Skelton homes in on his Trainers' Championship, let's get the racing at Ayr underway with Mouden in the opener. A tricky little one at Ayr, but Irish Raider Mouden makes enough appeal for me with ground to suit. Unexposed as a chaser over here, Kieran Murphy's gelding has a very workable mark and his front-running style could well pay dividends. I would guess that Dan Skelton has a chance with Calico, though he would prefer drying ground, while Gavin Cromwell's French recruit Lene Crew is interesting but untried on British soil. Paul Nichols's son Brewy went well for a long way at Aintree last week, but this is a quick turnaround, so Mouden on balance gets the nudge. Now, let me get you over to Jaysella at Newbury Park.
Thanks, boss. Hope the weather don't dampen your spirit too much. I'm sure it won't, but down here at Newbury it should be lovely, after the overnight rain clears. Yeah, I guess I got lucky this week. Anyway, Richard Fahey's Catching the Moon can take the opener, the Fred Darling as it used to be. She finished her juvenile season well, winning the Firth of Clyde Stakes at Ayr, and that'll do for me. This Newbury track has some similarities to Ayr, though the ground's going to be a lot quicker this time, but she's got form on Good to Firm from Beverley last year, so I'm not worried about that. Ryan Moore is booked, and that I do like, so I reckon that Catching the Moon might just get the better of anti-post favourite Owen Burrows's Too Lean, who might find it all happening a bit quickly on this going. Fingers crossed. And let's get back to you up at Ayr for your Saturday nap.
Thank you, Jaysella, and there was no hesitation for me when I assessed the Grade 2 Scottish Champion hurdle. It's top weight tutty quanti for me. Winning the William Hill hurdle at Newbury Park in February, form that has been properly franked with the second, Wellington Arch, landing a premier handicap at Aintree last week, plenty of rain in the forecast, can only play to tutti quanti's strengths. Dan Skelton's. Tell her the name has been favourite this week in the markets, but this ground might be too deep, so tutti quanti it is. And now? Back to you at Newbury for your Saturday next best.
Yeah, thanks, boss. And I've got to go with Carl Burke's Convergent for the finest surprise stakes, and if he's any better than last year, could be difficult to beat. Last seen in the Pries von Bayern, where softer ground than ideal didn't really help, Convergent is an impressive-looking type who must have more to offer over this mile-and-a-half trip, now 4. Of course, a fully tuned LRC would be hard to beat, but Convergent has form over him from last year, so Rafe Beckett's Pride of Arras may be the one to watch, especially since he seems to have moved up a gear since being gelded after the Derby last year. Lion's Pride for John and Thady Gosden complete my list with Ryan Moore in charge, but he can be a bit in and out for me, so Cover Jaunt gets my vote. Earlier on in the Greenham Stakes, I've got to tell you, Eve Johnson-Houghton's Zavaretti was a revelation last season, winning his first 4 right up to the Group 1 National Stakes at the Curragh. I'm finding it easy to forgive this little speedball for his 4th in the Dewhurst after a busy juvenile campaign, with that final race coming maybe too soon after the National Stakes and the stand side producing the first 3 there at Newmarket. For all that, Zavaretti did cut across after the bushes, finishing 4th ahead of Oxagon, form that's been franked this week as John and Thady Gosden's Frankel Colt won the Craven Stakes on Thursday, so I'll take the chance that Zavaretti has improved at 3. Albert Einstein was talked up pre-season by Aidan O'Brien, but didn't look the finished article at the Curragh on his seasonal reappearance, and has something to prove, so stablemate title role may be the danger. Zavaretti to have trained on. To scoop this Group 3 with Hugo Palmer's Ardisia attempting each way pick under Oisin Murphy if that's your thing. For the spring handicap, well, anything could win this, so a bit of a shot in the dark here, but Rogue Diplomat appeals as much as anything else. He couldn't stop winning last summer once he got his nose in front at Newmarket, making great progress through the ranks, and a nose second in the Lincoln at Doncaster to start this campaign told me enough. Nudged up a bit for that, but he's a Calix colt, so should be fine on this ground, and I reckon he'll turn the tables on Urban Lion this time. Richard Hannon's Classic was 3rd in this last year, with Urban Lion just in front. But Rogue Diplomat probably has more scope to improve, so gets my vote. And last but not least, back to you, boss, for the Scottish Grand National. I got the Welsh one with Haiti Coolers at Christmas, and Caroline and me gave I Am Maximus last week for the English version, so no pressure, but you know your shout.
Okay, no pressure from the girls then. Well, Paul Nicholls' Isaac Desabeau outlasted them all in the Midlands National at Uttoxeter last month, so more of the same please. A new mark demands more, but he's got endless stamina and that may pay dividends given the conditions. And may be better suited to this than stablemate Quebecois, who may have to prove he can see out this trip in this deep ground. Willie Mullins always must be regarded in these valuable handicaps. So Road to Home is expected to be involved at the business end, along with fellow Irish raider Kim Rock, but Isaac Desabeau ticks the most boxes, so gets my say.